For the better part of the last decade, the digital economy has been fueled by a cycle of aggressive maximalism. The algorithm prioritized the haul, a content format where creators displayed massive amounts of fast fashion, elaborate skincare fridges, and restocking videos that treated domestic organization as a competitive sport. However, in recent months, we have observed a sharp correction in the market. The haul is dead. In its place, a new, somewhat confusing phenomenon has emerged. It is called underconsumption core. At first glance, this trend appears to be a return to minimalism. Users post videos of their singular dirty pair of sneakers, their half-empty capsule wardrobes, or their lack of aesthetic decor. But unlike traditional minimalism, which is often a stylistic choice made by the wealthy, underconsumption core is driven by a much harsher reality. The origin of this trend correlates directly with rising inflation and the cost of living crisis. The clean girl aesthetic, which dominated 2022 and required hundreds of dollars in specific products to maintain, became economically unfeasible for the average person. Rather than admitting to financial struggle, which carries a social stigma, the internet decided to rebrand being broke as a moral and aesthetic virtue. This rebranding manifests in several subtrends. First, we have Project Pan. This is a community dedicated to the act of using makeup products until they are empty. While this sounds like the basic function of purchasing goods, online it is treated as a conquest. Users post updates on their progress in finishing a tube of lip gloss, gamifying the act of simply getting their money's worth. Secondly, we see the rise of grandma core. This involves decorating living spaces with dated secondhand furniture. In previous internet cycles, this would have been framed as making do. Today, it is framed as sustainable vintage curation. The user convinces themselves, and the audience, that the mothball-scented couch was a deliberate design choice rather than a necessity of the housing market. The psychology here presents a fascinating paradox. While the movement claims to reject consumerism, it is still trapped within the content cycle of consumerism. Participants are setting up high-definition cameras and lighting equipment to perform the act of not shopping. It is performative non-consumption. The lack of items becomes the new status symbol by broadcasting how little they buy. So, what can we learn from this? While underconsumption core is objectively beneficial for the environment, we must acknowledge the underlying motivation. This is not a voluntary evolution of consciousness. It is a coping mechanism. The lesson is that when you cannot afford to play the game, the only winning move is to pretend you never wanted to play in the first place. Thanks for watching.